Hi everybody, my name is Kaylee Skipper and today I will be talking to you about what prevention means and why it's important to us. Prevention is the act of stopping something before the issue arises. Would we have listened to Mama about not touching the stove had we known how hot it was or how bad it would hurt? Would I have chose a different choice had I known that making the bad decision would affect my life the way it did and affect my family around me? My decisions created a positive domino effect, and it ended up that I became who I am today and the reasons I want to do preventional speaking as my career choice. But I also think that prevention is something that kind of got slid under the table and forgot about. And I think that someone needs to stand up and bring it back to the open so that people can see how it affects us. Prevention is very important to us and to our youth. And we need to know one important thing when we're trying to discuss it. Prevention should be persuasive. We have to be able to persuade our youth groups why the better decision is going to affect us more so than the bad decision. And usually the bad decision is the more enjoyable one. Nobody ever told me or anybody else that studying was going to be more important than hanging out with our friends at a party where there was loud music playing and we were dancing and singing and taking pictures and doing funny poses and posting it on Facebook. Nobody ever told me that sitting on the sidelines and watching the game was more important than being out there on the field. Had we chose to stay home and study, we might not have slept through our test and got a 0 anyways. Had we been on the field, we may have won the game. But some people have forgotten what we're trying to do. Prevention is something that we need to be able to do when trying to teach our youth groups. The bad decisions are always going to be the easiest ones for us to pick. We can just deal with the consequences later. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission, right? That's what we were taught, right? But those decisions aren't what are making us successful. Those good choices help us become who we are and how we affect the world. They're what cause us to feel like we belong. And my goal is to try and teach kids that they're not alone in the way they feel. Had someone told me that they knew how I felt, that they knew that being alone was hard and rough, and that their life falling apart and their family falling apart all at the same time was the best thing that ever happened to them, I probably wouldn't have endured the pain that I did. But because nobody stood up and told me that, I made a decision that affected my life, and it caused my family to fall back together, but it caused me a world of hurt to try and put back together. Had somebody told me or prevented me from making that decision, my life would have been a little bit easier growing up. And at 19 years old, I wouldn't have been opening my own business to tell kids that they're not alone in the way they feel. Prevention describes my future. Without it, I wouldn't have a choice. I wouldn't have a career. I'm coming to schools and speaking to schools and becoming who I am based off of preventional speaking, based off telling kids that choosing the better decision helps them succeed in life versus choosing the bad decision helps them become popular but doesn't help you when you get out of high school. When you walk across that stage, that's the end of it. Prevention is something that we have to be able to talk about. We have to be able to explain it, define it, talk about it backwards and forwards and sideways and upside down. We have to be able to understand what it means in order to help our youth groups. So with that being said, prevention is what describes my entire career as of right now. Without it, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be who I'm going to be. Let's help each other by preventing those bad decisions. Let's help our future by helping our youth.